Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. Real talk. We need all the goodness in our lives more than ever nowadays. It's been absolutely crazy out here in these streets as of late, and it seems to just get crazier by the minute. But I hope you guys are all doing well out there. There is some information here that I wanted to share with you guys, and we haven't covered Idaho for Brian Kohberger in a while. And I'm going to be honest, I am not complaining. But now there has been some new information because, there's been other stuff that's just been kind of spinning the wheels, a bunch of stuff that I feel like that wasn't as necessary. But now we're getting more information, which I find to be very interesting and heartbreaking and shocking. So I wanted to share these pieces of information with you guys because honestly, this could give us a little bit more insight on what actually happened inside that house. The other question is, there's been a whole debate on will there be cameras in the courtroom or not? It looks like we finally have an answer from Judge. And I think the answer is not going to please a lot of people. At least it didn't please me. So I'm sure it's not going to please a lot of other people. So we got some things to talk about. We got some stories to cover. We got many miles to go before we sleep. So let's get things moving. Please do me a favor, some housekeeping real quick, though. Hit that like button down below. If you're watching on YouTube, hit it down below. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that reaction button underneath this video. Please and thank you. Okay, that would really, really mean a lot. And for those of y'all who haven't done this yet, if you're watching on YouTube, crush that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you crush that follow button. All right. We talk about a lot of things on this show or on this channel. We talking about this, and we've been covering this since the dawn, since the tragedy itself. So please be sure to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell on my YouTube channel so you know whenever I go live and whenever I go and upload, because it is random. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube as well, and like what I do and want to support this channel a little bit more, hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family. That'd be greatly appreciated. It helps keep these purple lights on, okay? So, and of course, before we get things going, LNC, for example, has been a member, for a whole year, y'all. That is pretty damn amazing. Thank you so much. Just showing some love. I appreciate you showing some love. Good morning to you, LNC. Thank you so much for being a member for a whole year. A whole year of me? Damn. I'm sorry. No, I'm serious. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anyway, guys, we got to get into this. Like I said, there's a few things that are going on. And like I said, I wanted to I wanted to talk with you guys about this because, well, I woke up this morning. First off, I saw this last night, this information that we're going to be going into in just a second. Saw this information last night. I was absolutely shocked. I feel like there were hints at this by the family of Kaylee's, the Goncalves family. I feel like there was hints of that in previous interviews in the past. And now it's kind of like they're just ripping the Band-Aid off of this mother lover. They're just saying, F it. I'm done. We're going to say what we're going to say. No one's going to stop us from saying what we need to say. And I think the reason why they're doing this even more now is because of the fact that there was that whole conversation or that debate that was put on the table. Are they or are they not going to allow cameras in the courtroom? And I think the Gonzalez family is like, hey, if y'all ain't going to be if it ends up being that y'all aren't going to be putting these cameras in in the courtrooms, oh, we going to start talking. Whether y'all like it or not, we're going to start talking. All right? Those are the breaks. You're just going to have to deal with it. Okay? And honestly, Sia said, I love the Gonzalez family. I feel like there's a lot of people that love the Gonzalez family as well. And I'm going to be real. I'm going to say, I said it a long time ago, and I'm going to say it now. Steve Gonzalez is like John Wayne. He a cowboy. Okay? He alpha as hell. He's like, nah. If you ain't going to do it, I'm going to do it. If I'm not going to get justice swiftly, I'm going to get people to know what the hell's going on. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Dude is a G, in my personal opinion. And I feel like, do you blame them for speaking out and saying this information? They've been throwing all kinds of curveballs at all the families. Do you blame them for sitting there going, they just took my daughter and my daughter's best friend, who is basically our kid too? I'm going to talk. You are not going to stop me from talking. So I don't blame them. I don't blame them from talking. And I will also say this too. I'm happy at least somebody is coming out and talking and giving us, I mean, it may not be hard facts, and I'll leave that up to you when we get into this article, but it does make you wonder. They're the only family that's really going out and talking. Why aren't the other families talking? One thing I will say, though, real quick, because we got to look at both sides of the fence here. Everyone grieves differently. Everyone heals differently. A tragedy like this, I don't even know. I couldn't even imagine how I would react. It's easy for us to say when we're on the sidelines, oh, that's what I would do. But in the heat of the moment, if that tragedy was to happen to you, how would you respond? Would you be up in the interviews, or would you be trying to heal quietly in the privacy of your own home? Everyone reacts differently. So I can understand why other family members have not really come out and talked a lot. Some of them wrote books. Some of them found ways of finding ways to heal through creation, through pouring their feelings into a book, starting organizations, so on and so forth. So I want to make that abundantly clear so that before everybody gets all like, yeah, why aren't the other families talking? Everyone heals and deals with grief and unthinkable tragedies like this. They all process it differently. I just think this is the Gonzalez family's way of just taking matters into their own hands and having a little bit of a sense of control over this. With that being said, let's get into this article. Now, I saw this, and of course, I can't play the 48 hours interview. I'm going to be real, because the copyright stuff, and they don't play. All right, it's like trying to play anything from Comedy Central or something. They will find you and they will shut you down. But last night I saw this article, and I was absolutely blown. My mind was blown with this. It was blown away. That's what I was trying to say earlier, a second ago. But I was absolutely blown away, because I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. Interesting information. Because in a way, it makes it more seem like Maddie was the target. And Kaylee was just unfortunately there in the room. And now, according to the Gonzalez family, this is a big piece. I feel like this is a big, shocking piece of information, but they're saying that Kaylee was trapped in that room by Maddie and a wall. And then, of course, she met her tragic demise. Well, let's take a look at this, guys. Let's take a look at this article. All right. It's a lot to process. I'm gonna be real. Even so, We've been talking about this for months, y'all. Almost a year. We're in September. It's almost wow, it is almost a year, y'all. And it's still crazy to process all of this. It's still crazy. So the parents of Kaylee Goncalves claim their daughter was trapped by the body of her best friend as she tried to escape the monster. So Steve Gonzalez said that his daughter was stuck in her bedroom because of the property layout in Moscow, Idaho, on the night her life was taken. You know, we got to use these code words. I'm going to be hopping around, guys. Kaylee, 21, her life was taken alongside her best friend, Maddie Mogan, as we already know, Xana Canodal, and of course, Ethan Chapin. They were also victims of this terrible, horrendous situation that happened on the 13th of November, 2022. Like I said, we're rounding into a year here very soon. Both Kaylee and Maddie were sleeping in the same bed the night of the unalivings, with Kaylee's parents claiming they have evidence showing she tried to get out of the situation before she lost her life. Now, we already know that this alleged monster is alleged. Let me just say that heavy. Alleged monster is BK, Brian Koberger. All right, he's looking at some serious charges. And we're going to be talking about some court stuff here in a second. But Steve Gonzalez says he believes Kaylee was stuck between her friend's remains with the wall, before the assailant attacked her, citing the coroner's report. And of course, this is Kaylee and Maddie. Oh, and of course, they were in this interview. This is the Goncalves family, the parents. They were on an interview on 48 Hours. And of course, you know, now I'm going to be looking at this here in a second. But of course, we have seen the layout of the house. We already know about this dude here, this alleged monster, which I will absolutely be shocked if he was the one of all the monsters in the world to actually walk. And there's a possibility. I hate to say it like that. I know some of y'all don't like hearing that kind of stuff, but there's a strong possibility that this mother lover could walk if the state don't have their stuff right. I just want to remind you guys that. That's insane to think about. But let's continue on with this article. Speaking to CBS News, Peter Van Sant, he said, there's evidence to show that she was awakened and tried to get out of that situation, but she was attacked. I can't say these words, unfortunately, but I highlighted. Code words, guys. The bed was up against the wall. The headboard was touching the wall, and the left side of the bed was touching the wall. And we believe that Maddie was on the outside and Kaylee was on the inside. So on the inside, and the way the bed was set up, Kaylee was trapped. So they believe that the bed was up against the wall. Kaylee was sleeping next to the wall, and Maddie was on the outside of the bed, outside on the other side of the, on the other side of the bed. So it was almost like the wall and Maddie were actually sandwiching Kaylee. This is what their theory is, or this is what they were saying in this interview. The monster comes in, does his thing, does the unthinkable, and Kaylee's stuck in there. She wakes up and she's trying to get out, but she's stuck between the wall and Maddie. Pretty crazy, guys. Let's continue. Kaylee's mother, Christy, said that she thinks the monster's plan went awry, adding that he intended to unalive 1 and took the lives of 4. Of course, I got to use these code words, but you can see if you're following the bouncing ball, you know what is being, it's on the screen. The comments come after, of course, he waived his right to this alleged monster waived his right to a speedy trial, pushing back the court case until at least next year. He refused to answer when asked for his plea, so a judge entered a not guilty indication on his behalf. His legal team denies the allegations against him. Family members of the victim spoke with Van Sant in the night of the Idaho unalivings, or the M's, with Xana's sister, Jasmine, opening up for the first time. I don't know why this tragedy happened, she said. I wish we knew. They were, all four of them were, just such great people and made such an impact on the lives around them. And all these kids, gone. All of them, gone. And, somebody just asked this, and Nicole2282 on YouTube just asked this. Wait, where did it go? There it is. How do they know all this? That's the one thing I'd like to know too. But you got to remember, you got to put into consideration, they're probably working very closely, or at least the Goncalves family is working very, very closely. Or let me just say this, at least Steve Goncalves is probably putting his presence in every possible place he can, because all he wants to know is the truth. Not only just getting justice, but he just wants to know what happened to his child. You got to remember, I'm sure he's going and he's smooth talking here. He's canoodling over here. He's rubbing elbows. He's getting friendly with this person. He's getting friendly with that person. He's finessing as much as he can into law enforcement as best as he can, so that he can get as much information as he can. And of course, if you keep squawking, you keep talking, you keep saying, I need answers, you keep showing up and doing interviews on YouTube videos or media outlets, the more you talk about these things, the more law enforcement has to cough up something. And hopefully that something is the truth. But you got to remember, there's a lot of people that would love to have the same access that I'm sure the Goncalves family has had. Do you know how many other families that would love to know what happened to their child? Like Kendrick Johnson, for example. Plenty of families would love to know the truth on, hey, what happened to my son before he was wrapped up in this wrestling mat and flipped upside down and stuffed in the corner of a gym? It's just interesting. You got other family, the Goncalves family has been very present, very vigilant on trying to find out what's going on with what happened to their daughter. There's a lot of other families that do the same, and they don't even get even 1% of the information that I feel that the Goncalves family has had. And I'm not trying to sit here and knock the Goncalves family. I'm saying some people need to tear a page out of Goncalves family's book. Keep talking. Keep squawking. Say yes to every interview you can get. To those of y'all who are still fighting to get truth out about what happened to your loved one, I feel like the more we talk, the more we make a big deal. It's the population or the court of public opinion echoes that same incentive. I feel like that's when they finally sit there and give them information. But I also think that Steve Gonzalez, and maybe Christie too, are sitting there just finessing as much as they can. And I mean that in the best way possible. I don't mean finesse like, oh, they're just conning. No, they're just utilizing the connections and the resources that they have at their fingertips. And maybe some people are like, hey, man, okay, I'm just going to leave this file right here, but I didn't see you take it. Those things are possible. Those things are very possible. And then also, yeah, Nicole, sorry, your name's just popping up here, but it's true. At the same time, if I was in jail for a crime I didn't commit, I'd be going crazy saying I was innocent. And that's the other thing too. He stood silent at the trial. I'm sorry, at his hearing. Stood silent and said nothing. So the judge had to put in, okay, I take you standing silent as you pleading not guilty, so not guilty. He didn't even say like, I'm innocent. I didn't do a thing. I'm innocent. He didn't do nothing like that. Make that make sense. Because trust me, I agree with Nicole. Word. Okay? If I was in prison or in jail and people were trying to destroy my name, my reputation, everything, saying that I'm the one that took the lives of these 4 students, man, I'd be singing not guilty. Constantly. As I'm doing the perp walk into the building, and you got people going, Mr. Kohlberger, what? How do you feel? I'd be like, I'm innocent. I'd be saying that as I'm walking in. I wouldn't care. Excuse me, officers. Excuse me, judge. I'm innocent. You know what I'm saying? Even in the cells, as they're giving him his heat up meal, like, his hot pocket, as he's getting his hot pocket, his lunch for the day. Yeah. Thank you, Officer Smith. And oh, by the way, I'm innocent. Okay, I didn't do it. Yeah, I know I said it to you 5 minutes ago, but I'm going to keep saying it. I'm just going to keep saying it, y'all. Damn. But he ain't saying that. That doesn't make sense, guys. Make it make sense. Please. Make it make sense. So we got a couple things here. Okay. Now, one thing I want to play is this piece from Cuomo. This has to do with cameras. Okay. One thing that's blowing my mind is that it's both sides. I don't mean to laugh, but both of them, both sides don't want cameras in the courtroom. Ain't that some ish? Usually it's one side and maybe not the other. Sure. But in this one, both of them don't want that. They don't want cameras at all. I find that a bit weird. So let's take a look at that, shall we? It's pretty crazy. Before we go into the conversation.
Another story, mid-process, may not end well, okay?
Hold on, guys.
Okay, Brian Kohlberger, accused of murdering 4 Idaho college students.
1 second, guys.
In court today, the judge has a very big decision to make. You may not get to see.
Oh, shoot. That's why. Sorry, guys. One more again.
Justice administered. And I don't know how that gives confidence in the process. The defense is saying they're worried about prejudice if there are cameras in the courtroom, that it will screw up the ability to get a fair trial. Prosecution and defense supposedly don't want cameras in the courtroom. Why? Especially on the prosecution side. They're doing the job for the public. The families feel very differently. So do I. So do all journalists. That's why we had representation there to fight for the freedom of this type of information. So we have senior national correspondent Brian Enton outside the courthouse. Good to see you, my friend. Anything stand out as compelling from counsel united on this issue, perversely, or from the bench?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't that surprised by the prosecution and defense because I read their motions ahead of time. You mentioned it. Defense doesn't want cameras. Prosecution doesn't want cameras because they say that they feel like the witnesses might feel nervous to testify in front of a camera. What I was surprised by, Chris, was how vocal the judge was today. He talked the entire time, and he does not seem to really be a fan of cameras at all. And he doesn't seem to be a fan of the media in this case in particular, feeling like they've sort of slanted things, like the cameras aren't a good idea. He talked about other high-profile cases. He talked about the O.J. Simpson case, said that he felt like the cameras made that a circus, and he doesn't want his courtroom to turn into a circus.
Let me just say this really quick. It's already going to be a circus whether there are cameras in the room or not. I just want to make that abundantly clear. People are going to be either sitting outside that courtroom, that courthouse every single day, or they're going to be people inside that courtroom taking notes, and then as soon as they walk right out, it'll be cameras all over the place. It'll be everybody outside doing all the reporting, etc. Literally, this is the problem, though. Yes, it's going to be a circus. It already is a circus. Then on top of it, there's going to be information that's going to get totally chopped up and screwed. This is my issue with it. It's going to be the information that comes out is going to be misread, mistyped, misunderstood, and then people are going to misinterpret those things, put it out all over their all over the media, and then all of us are going to eat it up, and it's going to be that powder keg of BS, of misinformation. Okay? Now it turns into the toxic gossip train. That's the problem. So instead of us actually having the cameras in the courtroom where we could see it and it's transparent, we know what's going on, we hear the words coming out of people's mouths. Now we're just going to have to take the word from people who are just in that room that could possibly misinterpret, misquote, so on and so forth. Now, I know some of y'all are saying, good. It's good they don't got no cameras in the courtroom. I'm happy about that. Good. I don't know about that, y'all. I can see both sides of the fence. Trust me. I can see it being a circus, but it already is a circus. By you not bringing in the cameras, I just feel like it's going to be rumors nonstop. And that's a problem. I wish that there was a better way, or if they would have found let's just say, a happy medium where maybe it's camera on him and the judge, but never towards the stand. You see what I'm saying? The witness stand. Maybe they don't have that. That would have been, I feel, a fair. That I feel like that would have been a fair balance, a fair compromise. But now we won't have transparency. Now we won't hear from the horse's mouths of anything. And this is the sad part too. We're going to have to lean on the Gonzalez family or any other families that come in and are watching this at face value. And let's not forget, and we're coming back to this video, I promise, but I want you guys to remember this. Y'all remember when Steve Gonzalez went, I think he was on like Fox News, he was doing an interview, and he said he didn't have to go upstairs. He didn't have to go upstairs. Even myself, we all were dissecting every single syllable that he muttered out of his mouth. Everyone was analyzing every word he said. Now we're going to be analyzing every word that he says or any other person that's in the room that gets an interview. And that's when it turns into a circus. That's when things go awry. And that's when rumors go flying. That's when people start interpreting things like it's freaking Shakespeare. No, he really meant the glass. That's what he meant. He's not talking about vagina. Whatever it is, that's the problem. That's the problem of it all. That's the absolute problem of it all. So I don't agree with not having cameras in the room, for crying out loud. I think that's absolute BS. We need the transparency. But let's continue.
Boy, oh boy, are they all missing the main point here that certainly resonates with the families. Of course, they're going to want access because they're the most tied to the victimization here. But they're all doing the job for justice, and that's for the community as much as it is for their own sense of their personal integrity in this purpose. How do the families feel about it?
The families want the cameras, Chris, at least two of them. I spoke to Steve Gonzalez. He's the father of Kaylee Goncalves. Super frustrated, feels like the whole process has been secretive from the beginning, wants transparency, doesn't understand why the prosecution is now fighting against cameras. Listen to what he told me.
The community needs to determine who this individual is. You cannot ask for the community to do the death penalty without their vision, without their support, without their understanding of all the aspects of the case. It's more than just the jury members. It's the community. It's a message for everybody to understand. In Idaho, this is how we work. To me, the courtroom is truth in action. So why do we hide that?
You know what? Let me just say this. Bombs. I'm just going to say that. Bombs. Okay? Okay? Like, he just said some facts right there. He said some hard facts right there. Why won't they just show transparency in the pursuit of truth when it comes to this whole trial? What are they doing? Why are they doing that? Now you're going to have everybody and their mama looking at this situation and going, wait. What are they hiding? Are they hiding something? Is the state trying to hide something now? We haven't even talked. I mean, I know we've talked, well, a lot of people, including myself, have talked a lot about the DNA, genealogy, DNA, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And how they got it and how they didn't get it and if they broke the law to get it and so on and so forth. What are you hiding? What are you protecting? He's absolutely right. This is an opportunity for everyone to see how they get things done, how they get justice on something so deplorable. And now suddenly they don't want to have the cameras on? Oh, is it because, and I hate to say it, sound like this or say this, but could it possibly maybe be because did the state mess something up and you don't want that seen on camera and forever burned on the internet for the whole world to see? Is that what it is? That's what I'd like to know. Interesting, isn't it? Moving on. He's dropping bombs. We are going to be looking at this interview. Trust me, we will be looking at that in just a minute. But this is just clips from an interview that Brian Entin had. And we are going to be looking at that in just a minute. Let's take a look at this. But yeah, why aren't you showing everything? What you trying to hide? What you're trying to hide, Judge, or state at least of Idaho?
Amen, amen.
I think the concern here, Chris, is, and the judge is concerned about the camera, saying it could add to a circus-like atmosphere. But if there's no camera, you're going to have people running wild on the internet saying what happened, what Koberger looked like, what it was like in the courtroom, making stuff up. You know how it is on social media. The camera will control that. The camera will control that, and people at home who are responsible can watch for themselves and see what's going on inside court.
Trust comes from transparency, not just because it's alliterative, because literally that's the way it works. If people can't see for themselves and process, then they don't know. Brian Entin, I appreciate your coverage.
They are talking facts on top of facts. But really quick, why does Chris Cuomo look like Don Juan DeMarco? Don Juan DeMarco. If you love a woman, you know what I'm saying? What's up? I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks good, but he got some Don Juan DeMarco going on, some Johnny Depp going on here with the goatee and the mustache. But okay, all right. But what say you guys on that? Okay, what say you guys on that information right here? How do y'all feel about this? Actually, let me pull up Don Juan DeMarco. Yes. Let me start a poll really quick. Okay. Hold on. Let me just do that. Come on. Lee, come on. Oh, it's at the top. Sorry, I had to make that joke. Okay. He got the tan on, it looks like he dropped a couple LBs in the face. Then you got the goatee going on. I'm just saying. I know ladies like him. See, Kelly B's like, Chris is looking good. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all like him. Come on now. All right. But yes, I agree, Pascal. No cameras equals BS. Well, I just put up a poll. It's at the top. I just said, hey, do you want cameras in the courtroom? It's simple. Because I know that if I try to do another one, y'all would be writing out your dissertations on this. Like, well, actually, pushing up your imaginary glasses from the edge of your nose. Well, actually, this is what they think. So I just said simple, yes or no answer. Okay, so let that rock and mother loving roll as we continue on our show. Okay, I am not stunned. Okay. I am not. All right, Debbie. All right. But, it's just interesting when you see, like, you got some dirt on your, you got some dirt on your upper lip, buddy. What's that? You trying something. Okay. All right. You can try. Go ahead and try. But anyway, no, he looks good. I'm just playing. Just having some fun. So, as we already know, that was a big debate going on. I actually do want to share with you guys a little bit of this interview Brian Entin had. Like, that was a clip that we saw. That was a clip from what he had in this interview that was only posted on X, from what I've seen. And like I said, I mean, Steve Gonzalez does drop some serious bombs here. He has some very strong points throughout this entire video. Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of this. Okay. And yeah, let's play a little bit of this, shall we?
Without their vision, without their support, without their understanding of all the aspects of the case. It's more than just the jury members. It's the community. It's a message for everybody to understand. In Idaho, this is how we work. We're not the same as Chicago. We're not the same as Miami and New York and LA. This is how Idaho perceives a major incident, and this is how we react to it. And we have the resources to do that. So I don't know what removing the cameras really provides other than a gap. You know, and we've had a gag order in this case, and that didn't work out well. You know, you hear about other people who've been placed under a gag order. It doesn't seem that the Constitution works well with this constitutional time of when it's okay to speak about, I don't know, I don't want to say the truth, but I want to say when people are going to speak about a case and let the audience decide what the truth is. You know, gag order is an old version of controlling the narrative. You can't control it anymore with, you know, social media, TikToks, and you know, like I've said before, it's not NBC, ABC, and these three medias that control this narrative. The whole world sees everything. So pretending like you can control, and what are you trying to control? Are we just displaying truth in action? To me, the courtroom is truth in action. So why do we hide that?
Were you surprised, Steve, to see the prosecution also now say that they don't want cameras?
I want to say yes, but I'm shocked at how many times the prosecution and the defendant are on the same page. And then there's some certain things that they have in common, and they rise up. They rise up over and over and over. I won't say them now, but if they keep rising up over my daughter's truth and justice, then I will just call them out on those commonalities that they have. And I mean, I just want a camera. I just want the truth. I just want everyone to see what's going on. That makes me radical. Okay, I'll live with that.
Let me. I'm gonna, of course, jump in and out of here, but he's not wrong with what he's saying. Absolutely, there should be more transparency. There should be more truth to this whole thing. There should be more honesty within the courtroom, within the judicial system. The other thing he said, which I was trying to pause on, but I wanted him to finish that thought. I find it very interesting that both sides are agreeing on certain things. It's very odd. He even said it himself. He's like, it's just weird. They're kind of joining forces on certain things. That's very odd. Like, for example, no cameras in the courtroom. That's a little bit odd, don't you think? It is weird. It is weird. Usually it's like, prosecution will be like, nah, we want everyone to see him get strung up and hung out to dry. We're gonna make a meal out of this dude live on camera. And we want everybody to see this. We want everyone to see, as he said, how justice is served and how we get it done. Yet prosecution in this situation is like, no, we don't want cameras in the house. Now, one of the things, though, I do want to say, and Bella, yeah, I get it, and I know that there are some BK fans, or some BK is innocent people out there as well. And hey, to each their own. To each, you are allowed to have your opinions, because yes, you're right. The truth shall come out. But I think one of the things that really jacked things up, where did it go? Somebody made a comment. Lisa just said this: court TV need to behave. Absolutely. Remember, there was a huge issue that was going on in one of the hearings. And it was, I guess, somebody was pointing a camera or something. Now, I don't know if it was court TV, but it sparked the thought. Okay, I'm not coming at court TV, all right, or any of those those people. But apparently, there was an issue with one of the cameramen that was pointing directly at Brian Koberger or something crazy like that. And then they made a big deal about that. It was just more of a reason to lean on that, going, see, this is the reason why we shouldn't have cameras in the house, in the room. That's why we shouldn't have cameras. When in my mind, I'm like, that should be the defense saying that, not prosecution. Prosecution should be like, nah, bro, nah. You bring in those cameras, because we're going to show you how it's done, so that the world sees the truth and how we're going to seek justice and get this mother lover's age. But they didn't do that. That's very odd. And I think one of the reasons is because of the camera incident. What was it? Flygate? Zippergate? Whatever you want to call it, because apparently his fly was down or something. Trust me, there was a lot of things that went on that people were covering. I didn't cover any of that BS. No offense. I didn't feel dragged in being like, oh, I got to talk about his fly. I really didn't. No disrespect to anybody that did talk about it. But at the same time, that was an argument for a minute there. Really. Let's go on here. Oh, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Okay, those of y'all who are watching, please, and thank you. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Let's get it past 800 likes. That would really mean a lot on YouTube. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that reaction button. Do not forget to crush that subscribe button if you appreciate and are enjoying the conversation. Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, and another thing real quick before we continue, at 11:30, I am good. 11:30 Central Standard Time, I will be going live with my sister on the Real Beef with S&P to talk about some new pop culture bombshell thing that just dropped. So we will be talking about that today at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So be sure to hop over and join us in that conversation, because it's going to be a doozy. Let's continue here, guys.
Shannon, does it matter what the families think in the eyes of the court? I mean, I've seen the filings from the prosecution, defense, the media. Does the family have a say when it comes to the cameras?
Well, I mean, ultimately, I can't speak for the prosecution in this case or the defense in any way. As an experience as a prosecutor, as a former prosecutor, and we always listen to the victims. A lot of times the victims have an opportunity to speak to us about resolutions, how the case might be resolved, certain things that go on during the case, we want them involved in along those lines. And so I think that's part of the family putting out the statement today, was to voice their opinion about what they thought about having cameras in the courtroom, and hoping that people were listening to what they were saying. So I can't speak to the prosecution or the defense and what they might be thinking. So,
I mean, in your role representing the families, does the prosecution come to you like with situations like this and say, what does the family think about cameras?
Well, we were always hopeful. But I think that's the reason we put out the statement today. I think if we had been approached or asked in some way about that, at least the Gonzalez family, I'm not sure they contacted. I don't know. I can't speak to see if they've contacted any of the other families. I don't think they contacted the Cornudo family or the Mogans about the courtroom cameras in the courtroom, but they did not contact the Gonzalez family through me to ask us what our opinion was. And the family stressed to me that they thought it was an important thing that that the world know and people know what they thought about it, and that they thought it was important that cameras be in the courtroom. And so that's why the statement was put out by the family, to let people know what their thoughts were.
In the statement, Steve, it says that the case is surrounded by secrecy. Can you elaborate on that a little more? Like what you guys meant by that?
I've talked with multiple family members, and I want to be respectful for everybody's viewpoint. And there is some fear that the cameras will record things that are gross. You know, they're not ready to have their friends and family members come to them and say, hey, did you hear about this or that? And I understand that. I really do. So they come to me, and I reflect what they're saying. I absorb it, and then I also tell them from a legal perspective, from my lawyer counsel, it's hard to really argue what a camera is going to be in a courtroom negatively. You know, like, we're here asking for somebody in the community to judge this individual. So let's just hang it out there. Let's show every aspect and every fact that I feel is a fact. The community should agree that that is a fact, whether it's DNA or whatever it is. So, but I still respect all these family members and their own individual processing of their preparedness for what's about to happen. And it's terrible. You really cannot prepare yourself to understand that the legal system is going to drag all of us through the mud. And that's the only way you can get to the truth. So if I'm going to go through the mud, I'd rather have all the witnesses that I can possibly have than to create a narrow bubble there in Latau County and Moscow and say that, you know, I want to have the support of everyone, that the justice was put in place, and the evidence was that clear.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about,
I absolutely 110% agree. Again, it's just more opportunity to show proof positive of proof. Evidence. Showing for a fact. See, this is the issue. This is the other issue. Okay, this may not be the best analogy in the world, but I'm going to use it anyway, so F it. Remember about Danilo? I think apparently his name is Danilo, not Danilo, but Danilo Cavalcante. Remember that dude? That monster was out on the run for 2 whole freaking weeks. On the 14th day, he was finally detained, right? He was finally captured after 14 days of a manhunt. Dogs, drones, helicopters, men, women, cars, etc. went out of their way to get him. Now, thank God we had the footage. Thank God we had photos, cameras, drones, everything, filming everything that went down. And of course, thank God for Yoda for doing what he did. Right? But one thing about that, is that if we didn't see anything and we just heard that he was captured, and say he really was captured, right? Same thing, same outcome, but we didn't have any physical proof of it. No documented proof. No video, no audio, no photos, no nothing. Would you really want to take law enforcement's word for it? Them showing up all happy, like they just had 3 Thanksgiving meals all in one sitting, full of pride and happiness. You really think by them just going, we got great news, everybody. We detained the culprit. Everyone can go back to your regularly scheduled programs. Everything's fine. God bless you. Good night. Do you think everybody's going to sit there and go, oh, yeah, the monster's gone. Yes, ding dong, the ish is gone. No, you're not. You're good. This is when speculation comes out. This is when rumors start running amok. This is when theories become, to a lot of people, truth, rather than actual hard evidence and facts. So having a camera in the room, at least one mother-loving camera in the room to document the things that are going down, there would be no speculation. Or let's just say the speculation and the rumor mill would be at a minimum in comparison to not having anything at all. This is going to be the problem, because there's going to be articles out. I'm telling you, I already see the future. I can see the future already, like I'm a clairvoyant. I already see the future. We're already going to have tabloidy articles made that have nothing to do with what happened inside that courtroom, but people are going to be using them. YouTubers, innocent YouTubers, content creators are going to be using those periodicals and repeating those things, putting those things out there. Shoot, News Nation, not saying that they would, but there's a possibility News Nation could take those things and say, a source tells us that inside the room, Brian Koberger let out the wettest and juiciest fart and then laughed. A huge belly laugh. And the whole room just was so shocked because a source told them. You see what I'm saying? Instead of us actually saying, okay, here's the cameras. We see everything. Boring, boring, boring. Evidence, evidence, evidence. Witness cross examinations. We'll get all this BS source telling us crap that has no backing to it. And that's why I'm saying I see it coming. I see that BS coming. It was happening for months before they made the decision to or not to have cameras in the courtroom. We were already getting credible sources talking about getting sources, getting quotes from other sources, only to find out that those stories were absolute BS. How is this helping bring justice and bringing transparency? How is it? Because it's not. Like I said, it's coming. It's going to be a snowball effect, and it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. And some of us are going to get caught in the wave of the BS. And I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Them wanting to tear the house down, the university, and sort of the fight over that. And now not wanting cameras, and the prosecution also not wanting cameras. And they gave their legal arguments, which, I guess makes sense in one way, that witnesses might be scared to testify with cameras rolling, especially like emotional witnesses. But I'm also wondering, do you think any of this is connected? Like, without cameras, the story sort of goes away. The town doesn't look as bad. Without the house, you don't have to think about it every day. The school can go back to normal. Do you think it's all connected, or do you think it really is just sort of legal? Like, both sides just don't want the cameras for the legal reasons?
100%. The reason I'm talking to you right here, right now, is because there is capital business decisions being made on top of justice systems. So no, there is no way to pretend like these all equal and they all equate to the same motivation. Somebody's going to lose, and it isn't going to be my daughter. I will sit here. I will speak to every single microphone, every single camera. before I go to court and after I go to court. If you force me to do it, I'd rather the courtroom speak for itself than me. I don't want to speak. I'm actually quite a private man. But if you force me to protect my daughter, then I will speak at every moment that I have.
Hell
to
yeah.
do just that and protect her.
Damn
And
right.
that's what we're doing today. We're protecting the truth. We're protecting where the truth is going to go. The truth needs to be in that courtroom, and a camera will never, ever hide the truth. So why remove it?
I couldn't agree more. The other thing too is, remember the talks about a trap house? Remember the rumors of all the just take a little trip down memory lane with me, shall we? Let's skip down that yellow brick road of BS that was going on, right? Or the yellow brick road of theories and rumors and speculations. All those things would be laid to waste if a camera's in that room. Shoot, somebody just said, hey, I don't even need a camera. Just give me audio. Hell yeah. I mean, that's still terrible. Sitting through and just listening to everything. But at the same time, hell yeah, let's go. At least give us some audio. But no, doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay. But one thing that would have been helpful, because he's sitting here saying, like, show warts and all. I don't care. I just want justice for my daughter and her daughter's and my daughter's friends. That's it. And if that means that finally within this thing you find out, oh yeah, it was a trap house, and he really was there to get some chemicals or whatever the hell it is. F it. He's like, I don't care. That still does not justify the loss of those kids. So if that means you got to pull it all out and let everybody see it, see everything, warts and all, so be it. As long it is on the right road towards justice. I mean, shoot, Steve is a man. He an OG. Okay. He a real G to me. In my personal opinion, he's like, F it. If that all comes out, fine. But it will be giving us more of a narrative of what actually happened behind those closed doors. Crazy.
Why do you remove a camera? Well, maybe it'll protect you from, like me, I misspoke. I might say something wrong, but I'm a father. I can deal with that. I can.
Word.
The repercussions of that is fine. But some people seem to be scared of the repercussions of their mistake. And I say, just embrace it and let the community decide what the truth is. We either got the guy or we don't.
When he says that, who can that be? Who could that be? When he says they're scared of showing their mistakes, the errors of their ways, who could he be talking about? Question. Who do you think he's talking about? Pop quiz, hotshot. Let me know. Comment down below or comment in the chat. Let me know. Real quick before we continue, hold on. Penny on Facebook, thank you so much for being on Facebook and for the comment. Are we still live? Yes, we are still live. Proof is me clicking on this. FB doesn't notify me. Love Pascal. Thank you. Love you too, Penny. I don't know if they have a notification feature on the Facebook page. See, the Facebook's still kind of new to me. You feel me? But if there is, I would just check in the area where you hit the follow button. Maybe there's like a notification thing so that whenever I go live, you know, or whenever I upload something, you know as well, because I appreciate your support and I appreciate your views and your thoughts on everything. So yeah. Please do that. Of course, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button on Facebook. Don't forget to react down below or hit that like button down below and keep the comments rolling. But when he says, going back to the video, when he says, hey, Tashia said, FB notified me. Okay, well, that's good. So you got notified. Maybe you just need to unfollow and follow back. Okay. I think that might be what you need to do, Penny. Okay. And that's just my thoughts for your Penny for your thoughts. Moving on back to what we were talking about here. You see, he's sitting there going like, they just don't want to show the mistakes. They don't want to show that they mucked up. Now I'm wondering, who's they? Now I'm not talking about DJ Khaled, like they don't want you to win. Who's he referring to? Is he saying they, meaning the state? Is he saying prosecution? Is he saying Dylan or Bethany? Who could he be talking about? Because that they is a thick they. Okay, let's get into this. Or is it BK? Even Catherine even said, is it BK? That's a question that I'd like to know. Let's continue on with this, shall we?
It's pretty simple.
Yeah. And just a few more questions. Since Koberger waived the speedy trial, I think we all thought maybe the trial was going to be really soon, and now it could be far away. I mean, how are you dealing with that? Are you still processing that? I mean, I feel for you guys having to like continue to live in this weird like legal limbo.
You give up all your notions of normal when something like this happens. And you hope that your community feels for you and embraces you, hugs you, and says, we're going to take care of this. You hope that your community says, we're here for you and we're going to make this right. And that's why I'm there, for them to have the vision and the cameras, and everybody needs to be in that room, because they're the ones that are wrapping their arms around me, Chrissy, and our children. They're saying, we're going to do, like, this is an outsider. He came here to hunt these dumb hillbillies and teach us about what he said was like cloud computing and forensic. He thought he could come here and hunt dumb hillbillies and he could get away with this. And now that we have him caught, we need to be able to hold him accountable, and the community needs to be a part of that. And taking cameras out of there makes it a double standard. You can't say that they're accountable, yet they're not a part of it.
How are you guys doing? Like, the last time I saw you in court, Olivia was there with your granddaughter. How are they doing? I'm sure in some ways, like, life has to go on. You have some positive things happening too with your granddaughter. Like how's everybody doing?
In some ways, we're in a pause of a movie. Like, you can just go forward, but you just got to keep rewinding, because you don't know what you've missed and all these facts. So it's no way to live. It's no way to be. And we try to treat our children different than what we're going through. It's my responsibility to hold this individual accountable for what he's done to my family. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking. That's why this is happening right here, right now. It's not because I care about anything other than justice. And that's why I'm pushing for cameras. That's why I'm pushing for this, because I'm a biased man. I'm a biased father. So let everybody have a part in this. And then it's a lot easier for us to have a conviction that we all embrace. And then the rest of me and my family don't have to hear the haunting effects of messages saying that, if there would have been cameras in that courtroom, it would have been a different outcome. If we would have had truth and transparency in this case, if it wasn't all about business, then there would have been a different outcome. So you only have one moment to make a statement, and that's the moment we're in right now, and why we're doing this. Shannon told me we had a couple of interviews. I don't keep track of this. He keeps track of this for me, because there is a gap. It's a gap in leadership, and the leadership, I want them to hold everyone accountable and do all this. And when they don't, we're Our phones are being right. People are calling us because somebody else isn't picking up the phone. That's really why we get involved. I really don't want to be the guy talking to you, to be honest.
Yeah, you sort of become like the spokesperson, though. I mean, it's, like you said, it seems like if you don't hold people accountable, it's like in life, things slip away or whatever.
For me, Kaylee would have expected me to be her father, not 1%, not 10, not 50% of the time. Like I handed off to a judge and a prosecutor to be the father. I'm going to be her father 100% of the time. And when I tell whoever did this, you picked the wrong family, it has to be backed by action. And I'm that action. I'm that person saying, I'm going to be the voice that doesn't go away, even if both sides want that voice to go away.
Makes sense. Is there anything else, Shannon, you think is important that we didn't touch on with the statement, or just that you want to get out there going into the hearing tomorrow?
No, I mean, there's a lot of procedural things that are going on in the next couple of weeks. I think the family will be there either by Zoom or in person. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. It's not worth it to really get them in there for 10 or 15 minutes to, like Steve said, for a whole day's worth of stuff. So, but we are, we're looking forward to some of the stuff coming up, the scheduling order, picking new trial dates, the alibi issue, the indictment stuff, all decisions on those things. The court has a lot of stuff in front of him that it has to make some decisions on. We're looking forward to those things. The cameras in the courtroom tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be some oral argument on that tomorrow. I think we'll all be there by Zoom. I'll be there by Zoom. And, it's like Steve said, they become the spokespersons for the families sometimes because that's the job that they've taken on, and they're willing to do it. And, when we do put out statements, we always kind of check in with the families to see if that's something that they're in line with, and we can attach their name to it. So they can get their voice out there and present their views. And so, we thought it was important that everyone knew what the positions of some of the family members of the Cornudo family and the Gonzalez family felt about cameras in the courtroom. And that was the reason for the statement today.
Yeah. I said I was only going to play a little bit of it, but I ended up playing the whole doggone thing. I think it was so important for us to hear everything that Steve Gonzalez had to say about this. I mean, clearly he's sitting there going like, he's like the reluctant leader in the situation. He's like, I'd rather not be up here talking about this, but I know I need to. And like I said, we don't know what the families are, the other families are going through. Real talk, we don't. And how they're dealing with this tragedy itself. But he did have a good, strong point on everything that has to do with cameras being in or out of the courtroom. And I agree on that. I think it's kind of trash that it is an opportunity to keep things clean, to keep things extremely transparent, to let everybody know what's going down, so that if there is a mistrial or if there's anything odd that goes down, we're seeing it with our own two eyes. We see a reason. If we see a reason why he walks, we see it, not just something that we hear that's reported later. And I think that's an important piece there too. All of this is important. Yes, it's a circus, but it's been a circus, and it never will change. I think the circus will be even worse if they're doing this trial behind closed doors and no one sees anything. It's just going to be nothing but speculation and conspiracies. But now we got some updates as of this morning. According to Jennifer Coffindaffer, All right. Shout out to Jennifer Coffin Daffer. She put up this tweet, and I wanted to pull this up. Okay. Denied. There's a hearing on September 22nd regarding whether the indictment will be dismissed. No cameras allowed. Judge has spoken. So let's take a look at this. This is from Judge. Okay. Request to obtain approval to video, audio record, broadcast, or photograph a court proceeding. So I hereby request approval to video, audio record. This, of course, all the information, the date, September 22nd, so on and so forth. I've read Rule 45 of the Idaho Court Administrative Rules permitting cameras in the courtroom and will comply in all respects with the provisions of that rule, and will also make certain that all other persons from my organization participating in video or audio recordings or broadcasting or photographs of the court proceedings have read Rule 45 in the Idaho Court Administrative Rules and will comply in all respects with the provisions of that rule. And this was Reardon, Caitlin Reardon signs this, and this is from the KREM 2 News. Okay. Now, they said the court, having considered the above request for approval under Rule 45 of the Idaho Court Administrative Rules, hereby orders that permission to video/audio the above hearing is denied. So, having considered the request of approval, hereby orders orders that permission to broadcast again in this hearing have been denied. Another one, request for approval under Rule 45 of the Idaho Court Administrative Rules hereby orders that permission to photograph the above hearing is denied. Denied. All of it. So, no audio. Let me just go through that one more time. No audio, no video, no broadcasting of the hearing, and no photographs. Like what? So no video, audio. Can't broadcast it clearly. You can't broadcast it if you don't have video or audio. But then on top of it, they're saying no photos. So they can't even document it at all. So in other words, you're going to have sketch artists in the room sketching away. Not saying that's a bad thing, because that's what they usually do. That's what they usually have in the courtroom anyway. But still, what? So now they're saying nah to that. Not even photos. Trash, y'all. Trash. What are they hiding? Who are they protecting? What are they protecting? What the hell is that all about? That's what I'd like to know. Because to me, that's jacked up. Yeah, that is bullish. That's bullish, soybean. That's bull. Okay? Bella, yes. Okay? Doesn't make sense. Sleuths investigate. Sorry. I call sus. Yeah, it's sus. It's sus as hell, y'all. I'm not cool with it. Real quick, Nurse JB, thank you so much for being a member for the past 12 months. Oh my God, another year. Yeah. Another one rotation around the sun with me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. You said in your comment, shocking and sad for the families. Thank you for your hard work. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's shocking, and yes, most definitely very sad. Jeff H, thank you so much for the 5. If I was an innocent man accused of this, I would want the world to see it all unfold. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. And I wouldn't care if I turned into memes and all that stuff. If they did Photoshop my fly down and stuff like that, I would not care. I'd be like, I don't care. I am focused on proving to the world that I'm innocent, because if he walks, do you realize, and they don't show how he's innocent? We don't see any proof of that. His life is ruined. His life has already been ruined. But imagine if he was able to go in there and proof positive that he did not do anything and he was not there and all that stuff. Imagine if the world was able to see that on camera. Then maybe the world would be like, okay, all right, you right. We were wrong. Sorry, BK. You right, you innocent. Everyone will leave him alone. Then he can go on and live his life and work, have a job. You think any place is going to actually hire him after he walks? If he was to walk? I'm going to tell you this. Hell to the no. Hell no. He ain't going to walk and be able to live free without somebody looking at him like he's a pariah. Hell no. Without these cameras out here, without showing proof to the world, it's going to be tough. DJ, very fishy. Either the police screwed up or the prosecution has something to hide. It's something. Or but then it's like, maybe it's the witnesses they don't want people to see that are going up to on the stand, because I'm not sitting here saying anything about Dylan or Bethany. No, they are survivors of this terrible, horrible thing. And I know that people have been going on the speculation train so hard, coming up with all kinds of stuff, trying to connect them with it. And yes, there are questions, and I still don't know why it took several hours for them to call 911 and all that stuff. But that's stuff that's going to be hopefully answered during this trial. But are we going to be able to hear it? Nope. We're going to have to take somebody else's word for it. Somebody else who's in the room writing this stuff down, going out into outside the courtrooms, outside of the building, and telling the story. We're not going to hear it from the horse's mouth. We're going to hear it from a third party. And that's the problem. That's the problem. So I'm not happy about that at all. I am not happy about that. But maybe there'll be a change of heart. Maybe there'll be a change of heart, but then again, maybe there won't. Maybe there really won't, and it's sad. I've got words. Thank you so much for the 5. On one hand, fam/people surrounding the case shouldn't be talking and should protect integrity of the case, but this is also dangerous for court transparency. Yes, I see you. I see that point for sure. Now, when you say the surrounding case shouldn't be talking and should protect the integrity of the case, okay, I agree. But now, given the fact that we're not going to be getting in any of that, I could see why Steve Gonzalez, if I'm reading this correctly, I could see why Steve Gonzalez, for example, is getting out here and talking now. Because he's like, there's not going to be any transparency in court, so no one's going to see it. So I'm going to keep talking because this is my daughter's name. This is my daughter's justice that's on the line. So I'm going to keep talking. So I could see that now. Before, and I think if cameras were going to be in the courtroom, then I think, yeah, I would sit here and go, yeah, maybe he should back off just a little bit. I understand his concerns and stuff, but maybe he should back off. Nope. Now I'm like, nah, you can keep on saying what you need to say, bruh, because we're not going to get anything during this trial, whenever this trial actually happens. But then again, you never know. Judge might change his mind. Judge very well could change his mind. Though that is a possibility. But he could still have a bad taste in his mouth because of the incident that happened inside the courtroom during one of the recent hearings. So that could be the situation as well. It's crappy. Can he go to someone over the judge about the cameras? You know, that's a good question. I don't know. That's a very, very good question. That's something that I think we'd have to look into. We definitely would have to look into that for sure. You know, it's so frustrating. Truth Seeker. They've been hiding things all along. Have we not already detected the discrepancies and the lack of transparency from the prosecution? Yeah, we have seen that. That is true. So it does make you wonder, because even to see, that's why I say things are fishy. You know, for a fact, with what I'm saying, you know that I'm more on the side of, I believe that they got at least one of their guys. He's guilty of something that has to do with this tragedy. But now when you hear prosecution go, oh, yeah, we don't want cameras in there either. Yeah, we agree with them. That's odd. To me, that's odd. Why wouldn't they want that? To me, that I feel like that's a perfect opportunity to publicly destroy Brian Kohberger with all your facts, all your proof, and all that. Now it makes me wonder, is their argument strong enough to really throw him in jail or no? And that's scary, guys. That's very, very scary. Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. It does really, really mean a lot. Don't forget, I do have a live show with my sister, Real Beef with S&P. Go over to our YouTube channel, by all means. Go check it out. We are going to be live at 11:30 Central Standard Time. So a little under an hour and 20 minutes from now. We got some pop culture discussion to have. So we will be live at that time. So go over there, check it out. We're going to have a grand old time. Little Friday live show with you guys, talking about some craziness as usual. So please go over there and do that if you can. All right. But I appreciate all y'all for being here. The conversation was really great. We got a lot to talk about still. I got a lot of other stories to tell you guys. So I got some pop-up videos coming up very, very soon on this channel. So be sure to tune in to that. Okay? Do me a favor. Don't forget, hit that like button down below before you head out. All right? Send it past 800 likes. That would really mean a lot. A like don't cost a thing, but it helps get the story out here, get the show out here more so we can continue growing. Okay? And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button, react down below. If you're watching on YouTube, crush that subscribe button. On Facebook, make sure you crush that follow button. Hit that notification bell on both platforms so that you know whenever I go live, whenever I go and upload, because it is random almost every single day. That would be greatly appreciated. I love all y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Be sure to check out my merch store. We are doing an amazing suicide awareness t-shirts, hoodies, fundraiser where I'm handcrafting tie-dyed t-shirts and hoodies. By all means, go check those out. You can also go to pascalmerch.com to get your hands on that as well. It's all for a good cause. So please consider going and getting something like that, okay? For a good cause. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Have a great rest of your day. And if I don't see you, have a great weekend. Make it positive. Do something wonderful. I'll see you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.